Hello again. I'm going to talk about Gurdjieff. There's a book written by Ouspensky called In Search of the Miraculous. This is it. I was first introduced to Gurdjieff's teachings in 1970. My former teacher, Gregory Grover, and I was 30 years old. So that's over 50 years ago. What Gurdjieff told me, or what I learned from my teacher's interpretation of Gurdjieff, because I could not follow Gurdjieff. I wasn't open and intelligent enough to grasp Gurdjieff at that time. It took me a long time to understand what Gurdjieff was communicating, but over time I understand. When Gurdjieff talks about the idea that we are asleep, meaning that another part of our mind is asleep. It's the higher intelligence. Spinoza will call that our true spiritual intelligence. That's asleep. What operates is an automatic reactive nature. We have a certain level of intelligence. Actually, it's the lowest level of intelligence, called hearsay. When you hear something, you believe it. And when you see something, you believe it. So, and also mere experiences. You might experience something and you believe that to be true. An example, someone cuts you off on the freeway and you automatically react. And you say, well, California drivers are terrible because you're from New York and you know how to drive. My partner used to tell me that California people do not know how to drive. Look at that. Look at the way they're driving. and so I was an exception. Anyway, so when you have an experience, you believe that to be true, especially from the age of infancy up to the age of 7. There's an old saying, a Jewish saying, that if you give me your son, and from infancy up to the age of 7, your son will be mine. Meaning that we are educated, we are indoctrinated, we are programmed to believe what we see and what we hear, because our teachers are our parents. They are our first teachers. And plus the school system and what you hear and see on TikTok or Facebook or other networks, other platforms that impart education. So we are educated and we learn, and that is our knowledge. So we act from that knowledge. And so I found that Gurdjieff, again, the book is called In Search of the Miraculous, written by Ouspensky. And on page 65, he talks about the idea there's a great difference between knowledge and being. He says, knowledge, you can have a lot of knowledge. And again, that information you believe, it could be hearsay, and you really don't prove. And this is another thing that Spinoza talks about, that we really don't reflect on what the information we are assimilating. We believe it, and we follow it. So the idea is to eventually develop critical thinking, to analyze what you were thinking or you're reading, to question what are they saying. And the idea of an open mind is to be in a state of wonder. However, since we are programmed early in life, we act automatically. And this is what Gurdjieff was talking about. We are biological robotic beings. We act automatically without forethought. So you react to situations, your emotions are triggered. And Gurdjieff talks about the idea of self-observation, to observe how you are reacting, what emotions are triggered. The book talks about, if you're a Gurdjieff student, he emphasizes the body reactions and feelings, but doesn't look at the emotions that are triggered, because our body, with its 5 senses, picks up information, sight and sound especially. And when you see something, you believe it to be true or not true. You hear something, you hear someone speaking, you believe it to be true or not true. So you either are thinking, um, intelligently, rationally, or out of belief and out of conditioning. So the idea of Gurdjieff is to awaken the mind. But there's not a clear process about how to awaken the mind. And this is where Spinoza is so important. Spinoza is giving us keys how to awaken the mind, and that's what I do. So if you visit my website, I have it down below. If you go there, there's a lot of videos, a lot of information about how to awaken the mind. Oh, another thing that Gurdjieff talks about, there's a great difference between our essence and our past personality. And the part of the growth process that Gurdjieff believed in, or say communicated, was the idea that our ego nature and our personality can be our growth to learn about them. Because our ego and our personality reacts to life. It doesn't understand life, it reacts to it. So we want to look at our reactions, our emotions, with an awakened mind, and we have to learn how to awaken, because when we begin to observe our emotions and study them and journal, get a journal book, get a book to journal with, and write down the events that trigger your emotions and begin to learn about your emotions. All right, check my website. It'll help you, guide you how to look at your emotions and how to wake up your mind. Thank you for listening.